expect this to happen when I was blind. I wasn't always blind. I wasn't born blind. But when I started losing my sight, something magnificent happened. My perspective on things started to change and shift and change me in ways I didn't even expect. In this video, I'm going to share with you how going blind really just opened my eyes to the illusions and delusions I didn't know was there that shattered all of that for me. If you're interested in knowing and seeing what I'm even talking about, go ahead and continue watching this. Alright, so welcome to Being Blackout, where we hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. I'm your girl Blackout, and on this channel, I talk about my life in ways I'm trying to better myself and navigate my new life as a deaf and blind woman. If that's something that interests you, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and let's get it going, let's get it popping into the topic of today. On this video, I'm going to go ahead and share with you how my eyes were open to things I didn't see before, where I realized I was blind and now I see. From being in the dark to being in the light, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Before we go ahead and get started, I want to go ahead and ask, what is something that you thought was your biggest downfall that ended up being your biggest blessing? Go ahead and comment down below, letting me know, and let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and give you some backstory on me first before we go ahead and get into those things that help me see better and become grateful and thankful for my blindness. Yes, grateful and thankful for my blindness. So a little backstory. I went blind due to diabetes. I didn't really expect it to happen. I know. They say if you're diabetic, you're gonna go blind. More than likely. And I, for some reason, thought that I was going to be immune to this. I thought I can do whatever, eat whatever, act whatever, and I'm just going to be fine and dandy. God, say a little prayer to God. God going to help me keep it pushing, and I can just do whatever I felt like doing. And I was proved terribly, terribly wrong. Terribly wrong, as you can see, because now I'm sitting here blind, talking to you about living life as a blind and deaf woman. Anyways. So the journey of being blind, when I really realized I really messed up. I really effed up right now. It was about 2-3 years ago. 3 years ago? 4 years ago? 2021, late 2021. August 2021 to be exact, where I woke up with a huge spot in my eye and the doctors couldn't tell me nothing. They tried to just pump me with a whole bunch of medication without really checking about nothing, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, they happened in increments, gradually, slowly. Not that slow though. And each step, like when I realized my vision just shifted and it wasn't getting better, each step of the way, it happened. I adapt to it. Okay, I can do this. God, please don't let it get any worse than this. And then shifts and it gets worse than that. And crying at every step of the way. My pride was really tested in that whole process. Asking people for help, money especially, that is a hard one. I guess my type of personality is I will wait until my back is against the corner. I will try to do it and fix it myself before I ask for any help. So that was a really difficult time to really just ask people for help and things, and it really forced me. It really forced me to come out and really just ask for help, and I had to be more open and transparent with people. And I usually like my life to myself and probably what's going on, but now I have to be more open, which that actually helped me more than it hindered me, which I didn't realize then. It allowed for a huge weight to be not on my shoulders, and even still, to be more open and vulnerable than to hold it all in, because now I kind of have to. So that's one thing. That wasn't even a point, but honestly, that's a big thing. Where it really helped me to be more like that. So that's a huge thing. So let's go ahead and get into the book. But now that you know a little bit about the backstory of how I went blind, let's go ahead and get into things I've learned since going blind. The first thing I learned is that the one of the biggest things immediately learned was that blindness is a spectrum, which I did not even think about before. When I think of a blind person, before I just assumed someone that just seen all black. I heard people say like they see white or they see black. I had no idea what they saw. I thought it was a blank black slate, and that's not true at all. From what I've seen, I don't know many blind people. I don't really know any blind people. Well, I know people who need glasses. Without their glasses, their vision's pretty fuzzy, which is funny because I was one of the only ones of my siblings that didn't need glasses, and I remember when one of my sisters first got their glasses, and I kind of not necessarily I made fun of them, but I was like, I don't need glasses. I got good vision, but I have bad hearing. But I got good vision, and now I'm the blindest one. Glasses don't help, not one bit. See, that's what I get for making fun of people. Anyways, what goes around comes right back around. Let's get back into what I was talking about because I really just drifted off there. So blindness is a spectrum. A lot of blind people actually can still see a little bit. I was able to still see a little bit up until maybe February, March of last year. And that's where the last little slither of sight that I had in this corner of my eye was gone. No more. Poof, be gone. Your breath is on home. Oop, get back. Some attack. But anyways, so that was gone. And now I can't really see anything at all. I get a little bit of light, but that's it. And so a lot of blind people that are even completely blind, they get a little bit of light perception, some little bit of shadows, and like that's a big thing I realized. And then the second thing I think I realized was, and that I learned was that there's so many tools for blind people and just disability people. I didn't realize. I thought a lot of things like I don't know, online ordering, DoorDash, stuff like that. It was like things that lazy people use like for convenience instead of just. I didn't ever thought about disability or using those things until I was blind. I seen how helpful these things really are. Like the times that we are living in got so many things that can help with being blind to help you live an independent life. But actually, with all these AIs now, I'm not really one for AI like that. I've never been one. But since being blind, it really helps a whole lot, especially when you don't have if you don't want to bother people too much. It really helps to have some of these apps or some of these things. So I do a lot of online shopping or use the Be My Eyes app to like if I can't tell what this is, I can use it to read labels or something. It can also call someone on there for you to have them help you out. I've never used that feature of the app, but I imagine that to be really helpful. I usually just either call someone I know and they'll help, but I imagine that to be really helpful if you don't have no one around or if you live alone or something like that. Even just getting around the house now, or even pouring, like I never thought about pouring like drinks and stuff. Getting around the house, if you know your house layout, it can be pretty okay. It's not that bad. Now, if you live with other people and they just be putting stuff everywhere, many a days have I bumped into things. Many of days. But anyways, so yeah, adaptive technology like made me realize things I took for granted before I went blind. Like I took so many things for granted before I went blind. I didn't even realize it. Let's go into the next thing I learned about myself was that I'm a vain person. I never thought I was a vain person, but I'm very vain. I noticed it when I was really worried and tripping about my eyes. Like my eyes were drifting in different directions, or if I'm looking at someone, but but I'm not, but I'm not really looking at them. I'm looking off to the side. Because I knew someone who had those vision issues like that, and they did that. I didn't really quite understand the vision issues, but I didn't want that for myself. And then when I found out, someone told me when they saw me, it's like something wrong with the eyes because I saw like one of them kind of I'm like, what do you mean? So I asked someone else. I was like, did my eyes do that? And I was like, she was like, yeah. I was like, how come you didn't say anything? She was like, I know that's how much you was worried about that. I was like, yeah, I didn't want googly moogly eyes. And then I learned I had the googly moogly eyes, but Some people say that they're not like that. I guess it only happens sometimes, or maybe if I'm in the complete dark. I don't know when it happens, but a lot of people think that I'm like really looking at them for real when I be talking and stuff. They're like, sometimes I be thinking you actually could see because like you be looking down into my soul. I'm like, well, girl, don't trip. I'm not looking at you at all. I don't see nothing. It's just a fog right here. Okay, I can probably hear you, and then I turn to you and I look at you, but I'm not really looking at you like that. Where I do my little side eye at them and stuff. So they be like, "No, you can see. No, I can't see. I wish I could, but I can't. This ain't fake. This is for real. This is real life. This is unfortunately real life, and it's not fun." But yeah, so that's how I learned that I was a vain person. The next thing, let's get into the next thing. I kind of touched on it earlier about being grateful. 2022, I believe. I did a 21 day fast, and it was just water, maybe a little bit of like orange juice or something. But I did a fast, and yeah, I remember I can't remember what day of the fast. I just remember being in the kitchen. I'm listening to music, about to do some like celery juice or something early in the morning because I think I did some celery juice in the morning and then some water throughout the rest of the day. And I stopped middle of the kitchen, and my kitchen can look to the living room area. And I stopped and I just stared into the living room area. It like I kind of was like in a trance, and it was like I was just free. I was just grateful for just anything. Like I had a lot to be worried about. I was going blind. I was scared about that. I wasn't working because I couldn't work anymore because I was doing little side hustles. I was doing those Instacarts and the DoorDash and stuff like that. And so I couldn't. And then also I was doing notary, online notary. I was working to do notary full time, and then I wanted to do loan signing agent. I was working to become that, and then also I was in school for about doing online in school for um, computer animation because I like drawing. I want to do animation, so I was all doing all those things, and then at that time I had to stop them because my sight was getting bad and I couldn't really see to do any of those things anymore. So it was very devastating for my dream to do side hustles, to have make any money. It was all crashing down, like really crashing and burning, coming to a head at that point. That was the very beginning of it, right? So for I just like to stop and just be grateful for what I had in that moment. The house that I lived in, it was a nice house. The It's just everything. Like I might not have what I felt like I needed, but I had everything I needed really, and which was God, honestly. But there was I just remember being at transport. I was just truly grateful. That was the first time I ever felt. I didn't never realize I wasn't grateful like that because normally when you think of being grateful, you're like, well, I got this nice house or I got this car, but it's broken down, but I want more. I want this better house, or I want my own place, or I want a better car, or I want a better job. I want to be more stable, or something. There's always something you want more. Like, so yeah, it can always be worse, but and I got this, but I want more. In that moment, I didn't want more. I was satisfied with what I had. I wasn't focused on what I didn't have. I was just grateful. I was just I don't know how to explain it. I was just truly grateful. It only lasted for a few seconds. And I wanted that feeling back because it was such a freeing feeling. I loved it so much. I was like, God, I just really want that feeling back. Like, it was just the true meaning of being free. Like, where you have no wants or desires. You're not tied to any fleshly desires or wants. And people usually when you say you have like I truly had a want for nothing, and usually when you think of I have a want for nothing, people think of I want to get everything, so I want nothing. I was really in want for nothing where I didn't have everything, and all I needed was God. I understood what it was like to just be content and grateful, really. And not to say I'm not grateful for what I have now, but it's not like that, and that's it's not like that. I can't say anything else that I might. There was other things I might have learned during that fast, really, but that was the thing. I don't think I really expected too much from that fast like that, bro. But it was an amazing experience, and I would love to have that feeling back. But which brings I go ahead and go into the last, but not least, certainly not least, my last point of things that I learned was that I was so blind to God and who He is and what He wants and what my faith, like the shape of my faith, what shape I was in before I went blind. I always wanted God since I was young, but I just never knew. Everyone's always saying, "Look inside, go on the inside." I'm looking for the outside stuff. Like, nah, tell us this. How do we get there? But after going blind, it really made it go inward. I started having to, because I can't read the Bible, so I was listening to the Bible. I started getting more understanding and wisdom, and speaking to God and praying more, asking Him to give me the strength. Started asking the right questions. Started praying with the right type of heart, really aligning with really what He is and not who I wanted Him to be, but who He truly is, and start learning to go towards Him in that way. Now, I'm still learning. I'm not all the way there yet. I barely scratched the surface, but the surface that I scratched, there was a lot there, and it was so much, and it really built my faith up more. It really built my confidence and trusting God more, where I'm starting to trust that I am hearing Him and I'm knowing His voice, and I'm learning the difference between what I think and what He's saying now. Not always perfect, but I'm getting there. Slowly but surely, He's doing the work in me, for real. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest blessing that I got from being blind, honestly. There's not, like, it's amazing, really. Um, and so that's why I'm really grateful and glad I've gone through this experience, because it put me in a position where I kind of had to see God in a way that I never did before, where I was kind of more ignoring Him and saying that I wanted Him, but I wasn't really about it for real. We say we want Him. A lot of people, I'm not gonna say everyone, but usually want Him, but we're not really ready to do that work to really get to know Him and stuff. And it's a battle, it's a journey every day, but it's something that I'm going more towards. At least I'm starting to understand the error of my ways, because I was in really bad shape, not just because of my physical health, or I was really bad shape spiritually, like, and now I can see that, like, my eyes really was open more to the spiritual sense versus physical sense, where you're just seeing everything. I realize what I see in this natural life, in this natural world, is just nothing but an illusion. It's an illusion and it's not real. So that's the biggest thing I took away from being blind, and I'm so happy I went blind because of that. I don't think I would have got this far if I hadn't gone blind. So it was a scary thing to think of, to go blind. I was so scared. I really didn't want to, but I'm happy I did now. Still not that fun. Still a miserable experience, but I find the joy in God in it. So I'm glad for it and I'm grateful for it. What are some common misconceptions about blind people that you had? Did you learn something new from this video? If so, go ahead and comment and drop a heart down below. Let me know what you thought, because it probably couldn't have been any way than what I thought. You probably thought the same thing I was thinking, right? Anyways, if you want to know how hard it was or is being a deaf and blind woman, go ahead and comment. Go ahead and click on this next video right here somewhere, and we can go ahead and get into it and learn about my life as a deaf and blind woman. Until next time, I'm Molly 3000. Peace. Bye bye.